This lesson covers the configuration and using of Performance Monitor data collector sets. In the previous lesson, I showed you how to create a custom MMC console so I could save a specific configuration. Now this is very useful if you have a certain view you wish to always keep. For example, I created my own server Hyper-V health view, which shows me my physical memory use for each of my virtual machines. I can view the I/O statistics of all my different VHD files. However, if I just want to collect data and then report on it, that's really not that useful. And this is where data collector sets come in. This enables you to define certain counters you want to capture and then stop and start that capture whenever you want, and then use that data either within Performance Monitor to view it or actually run summary reports, view trending information. Now, some of these are actually created for you. There's actually a number of system data collector sets. For example, system performance looks at a number of performance counters, such as the processes on the system, or the physical disk counters, or the processor counters, memory, system, etc. One of the great features of Server Manager enables me to look at all my servers, and then whichever server I select, I can scroll down and I can see my CPU and my memory usage. Behind the scenes, the way this actually works is it creates a user-defined collector set, the Server Manager Performance Monitor. And this is actually using these specific counters to capture the percentage processor time, the memory, and some process time information, and it's saving that to a file. And this is what is actually utilized by Server Manager. When I go and connect to a server and view its performance information, Server Manager is actually using this data. And notice I can say it's polling every 5 minutes. So it's not very precise. When I'm looking at a 24-hour period, which is really what Server Manager gives me, every 5 minutes is plenty. And you can go and create your own data collector sets. So I can just say a new data collector set. I can give it a name, such as key resources. Now I can work from a template. So it's going to say, well, this might be system diagnostics, system performance information. So I'll select that one. So now for key resources, it's already given me a big chunk to start with. There might be too much information. So I'm actually going to go back. I'm going to delete this. And instead of using a template, I'll just create one from scratch. So I'm going to call it that key resources again. And this time I'm just going to create manually. So what do I want to capture? So notice I can also capture event trace data, system configuration information, performance counter alerting. So I can actually generate alerts if maybe CPU goes above 90%. Maybe if available memory drops below 100 megabytes. I'm going to say I just want performance counter data. And then I add the counters I want. So we'll take some key ones. So I'm going to go to processor. I'm going to say percentage processor time. And for now, I'm just going to say total. And I'm going to add that. I'm going to look at memory. And under memory, I'm going to say I'll capture available megabytes. And maybe I'll also capture pages per second. I might want to capture page faults per second as well. How often is it going out to the page file? On my logical disk, I may add information about percentage disk time. I might add what is the current disk queue length, etc. So you'll just create whatever you want. What is the directory to store that data? Who do you want to run it as? Do you want to start this collector now or just save it and close it and use it later? So if I want to start capturing, I can just right click and say start. I could trigger that through a command through PowerShell. I can stop it and I can take that data and actually view it. I can run a report. So I can say latest report. And it's now collecting the data showing me what it's done. And if I wanted to actually use it, I might, for example, temporarily stop this. So it's now stopped. I could actually go into Performance Monitor and I can say view log data. And I can actually select, well, what do I want to view? So I can then go in and add those logs that I captured, and I would then be viewing that data. Here they all are. I'll select that latest log, open. and I can see the counters that are part of that file. Now by default, it's only showing me percentage processor time, but I can click add and it's going to show me all the values that are part of that data collector set. So I can say, well, I also want to add available memory. I want to add maybe certain process information. It's already showing me that percentage processor time. So now I get that additional kilobytes of memory as well. And obviously the scale is completely off at this point because the memory will be much higher, but maybe I'll change my view to a report. So I can see my average kilobytes and my processor time. You can really manipulate in any way you want. And that's the point. You use these data collector sets to capture information at periodic intervals and then do that trending, view that detail for really whatever purposes you need, be it benchmarking, be it trending analysis, be it trying to troubleshoot a problem. This concludes the lesson on configuring and using performance monitor data collector sets.